Alright, so it is July 27th, I believe, and this is the last that the Jazzmaster will look in its stock format. So I got to play this a little bit at home, but it's been here awaiting its full spa treatment. So to go over all the stuff that we're going to be doing, we do have the mastery system that's on its way, should be coming in hopefully later this week, and I'll be able to install that. But we got all our parts over here. So the big thing is we're putting some Lawler Jazzmaster pickups in there. We're going to be rewiring pretty much the whole thing. We're keeping the rhythm circuit stuff as is. I do still really want that. We got ourselves a Switchcraft jack to replace the toggle switch. We have some CTS 1 meg pots. We managed to get 2 of those to replace the pots. Get some real nice ones in there. We got a new output jack as well. And then lastly, Lindsay had recommended getting some of these Goto tuners. So we'll be installing those at some point as well. But yeah, here she is one last time as a stock Squier before the full hot rod treatment. We got Wes over here. He's going to be doing that great wiring job. So I'm excited.
So here we have the beginnings of the process. We'll often use a board like this to mount all of the components, the pots, switches, output jack, that sort of thing. And that enables us to do the soldering work before we put it into the guitar, something that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit safer for the instrument itself. And here is now the opposite end. This is the ending of Wes essentially tidying up his work here. Now all of the pots have been mounted, the output jack has been mounted, the new pickup selector switch is there, and he's now just kind of cleaning up some of the wiring and such, making sure that it's all sitting nicely into place. And here is a look at the final product. All of the wiring done, all of the parts mounted, ready to be put back into the body here. And here's kind of a rare naked look at the rest of the guitar. Jazzmaster Sans pickguard.
Okay, the last piece of the puzzle is here for the Jazzmaster parts caster kit, whatever fun times. Alright, so we are in the mastery install. We just drilled out the holes here for the bridge posts ever so slightly with the, what was that, 3/8?
3/8.
3/8 drill bit to fit the new thimbles in there. We could have fit the mastery into the pre-existing ones, but there's a little bit of extra play there, and we said let's just go all the way. So you can see now the Jazzmaster with everything off of it, including the vibrato here. So we are almost there. Alright, so now we have the system in place. So the mastery is in there, it's not going anywhere. We tightened it all up and such.
The beauty of the design being the new thimbles are expanded upon by the anchoring posts by virtue of this handy dandy little wrench.
So we just did that, and we got the vibrato in, so that's all good to go. Coming along.
And the last step in the process is checking the setup. Here Lindsay is checking out the individual string heights, which the Mastery uses a really, really great system to get everything right where it should be.
It's just so smooth.
Just like you, brother.
Yeah! Hey folks, Chris here, and we are back to a room that, if you've been following our YouTube channel at all, you're probably a little bit more familiar with. No longer in my home studio or in our repair department. We are back at the store, and I figured this is a good way to kind of close things out and take a look at the finished product. So I have now the finished Squier Jazzmaster, hot-rodded Jazzmaster, if you will, in my hands. I've had it like this for a couple of months now, so I've gotten some time to really get used to the guitar, figure out some of the ins and outs. And it's been a really fun experience. You know, as I mentioned throughout the video, this is a guitar that I had always wanted, and to kind of see it through fruition and mold it in my own image, or however I wanted to do it, has been really fun. I think everybody really needs a project guitar, and this has really fulfilled that niche for me. So to kind of go over again all the tweaks, you know, the Goto open back tuners that we installed, the Mastery string tree, gutted the electronics outside of the rhythm circuit, replaced the switch, pots, output jack, pickups, Lawler Jazzmaster pickups in here, and the Mastery bridge and vibrato system. So overall, it's a really, really fun guitar to play. It's a sound that I didn't have in any other instrument, and one that I didn't know just how much I really wanted and needed until I had it as part of the arsenal. So it's a really, really fun guitar to play. The Mastery in particular, I think, is probably my favorite feature. It's just so incredibly smooth. Makes me just want to do vibrato all day, toss on some reverb and delay, and just have fun. So the only thing that I think I might change on this now is maybe sanding down the neck for a more satin feel. Sometimes it can get a little mucky and get some of that hand gunk over it, as a lot of folks who dislike glossy lacquer necks can kind of attest to. That's kind of the situation, but it doesn't necessarily bother me all that much. So yeah, definitely the Mastery, I think, is the overall biggest change. I think a lot of the other pieces here were quite fine, actually, as they were, you know, although the Lawler pickups are wonderful and sound really, really great. I think the pickups that it came with were actually really good, and, you know, everything else was pretty darn good, especially when you consider the price point that this guitar sits. So all in all, really, really a fun guitar, as I mentioned, and one that I'm happy to have as part of the selection. So now I guess it's time to take a listen and see just how it sounds now that it's in its finished form. So just like at home, I have my Line 6 Helix here, and I'm going to run that directly into the camera. I know with the camera I'm a little bit more keen on where it clips, so hopefully we won't have the same clipping issue with some of those early clips early on. But I just restrung it, so we have the same strings that we started with, essentially, some D'Addario 10s. That's what we generally use here at the store. So we'll get to hear now the finished Squier Classic Vibe Jazzmaster Hot Rod DIY, well, do it yourself and with friends project.